The world reeled when the shocking news broke that Charlie Kirk, the outspoken political commentator and founder of Turning Point USA, had been fatally shot during a speaking engagement at Utah Valley University. At only 31 years old, his sudden death sent shockwaves through politics, media, and even corners of Hollywood that rarely intersect with partisan tragedy. Among the first and most surprising celebrity voices to react was actor Chris Pratt. Known for his roles in Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic World, Pratt shared a message on social media that was both brief and heartfelt. What he wrote, and the way he framed it, instantly ignited debate. To some, it was a simple prayer. To others, it carried deeper implications. As tributes, commentary, and criticism poured in, Pratt's words became something larger than a single post. They became a flashpoint in a country already struggling to separate mourning from politics. Within hours of the news, Pratt posted, "Praying for Charlie Kirk right now, for his wife and young children, for our country. We need God's grace. God help us." The simplicity of the message was what made it stand out. There was no political language, no agenda, no pointing of fingers, just a plea rooted in empathy, family, faith, and a longing for healing. Retweets, reposts, and responses came quickly. Some applauded Pratt for offering a moment of compassion in a polarized world. Others dissected every word, suggesting hidden meanings or questioning his choice to mention Kirk by name. Media outlets quickly amplified the post. One framed it as a prayer in a moment of public pain. Another called it a sincere message to console and call for unity. The power of the message lay not in length, but in tone. Gentle, dignified, and surprisingly neutral given Kirk's reputation. Unlike others who weighed in with heated commentary, Pratt's voice stood apart, resonating as a call for grace rather than a call to arms. Still, the response revealed how difficult it has become for celebrities to comment on tragedy, particularly when the individual involved is politically polarizing. Many praised Pratt for showing courage and humanity, noting that he has consistently spoken about his faith during difficult moments. Supporters flooded his comments with words like, "This is what we need right now," and shared screenshots of his past statements, calling him one of the rare Hollywood figures willing to speak of God without turning it into a sermon or political speech. But others weren't so generous. Critics accused him of signaling support for Kirk's ideology, even though Pratt had made no mention of politics. Some called his post vague, others saw it as opportunistic, while still others questioned the timing. The backlash was loud, but Pratt never engaged with it. He left his post untouched, offered no clarification, and allowed it to stand on its own. That silence, in many ways, became part of the message. By refusing to get pulled into debate, Pratt signaled that his words were never intended to be about politics. They were about grief and compassion. In the hours and days that followed, Pratt's tone influenced other public figures. Matthew McConaughey posted about taking a deep breath before judging one another, a quiet appeal for patience in a volatile moment. Tim Allen responded directly to Pratt's post with a praying hands emoji, an understated show of support. Mark Wahlberg shared a reminder that loss isn't a time to keep score, echoing the nonpartisan tone without mentioning Kirk's name. Candace Cameron Bure expressed condolences to Kirk's family while avoiding political commentary altogether. Country artists like Jason Aldean and Morgan Wallen offered similar tributes, focusing on grief and the fragility of life rather than ideology. What emerged was a rare moment of restraint across Hollywood and entertainment. A collective decision, intentional or not, to lead with empathy instead of division. And yet, even these minimal gestures drew scrutiny. as if any acknowledgement of Kirk required a political verdict. Every emoji, every silence, every carefully chosen word was interpreted through partisan lenses. Pratt's name trended online for more than a day, not because of a new film or promotional tour, but because of his decision to speak about Charlie Kirk in death. Online reactions split sharply. Some fans praised him for being brave enough to humanize a divisive figure, while others accused him of amplifying the wrong person. But much of the uproar missed the point. Pratt had not endorsed Kirk's politics, defended his ideology, or attempted to justify him. He had simply prayed for his family and asked for God's grace. Still, the internet dissected every syllable. Headlines framed it as a Hollywood star breaking silence on Kirk's passing, spinning the narrative further. Even within Pratt's own industry, reactions quietly reflected the divide. Some stars reportedly unfollowed him. Reactions quietly reflected the divide. Some stars reportedly unfollowed him. Others reached out privately with encouragement. One insider claimed that several Marvel castmates texted him directly to commend his grace, though none went public. Through it all, Pratt kept quiet, letting his original message remain unedited, uninterpreted, and unexpanded. Behind the scenes, Hollywood machinery responded in its usual way. Studios and publicists issued quiet guidance. Silence is the safest course. Pratt reportedly walked onto set subdued in the days after, admitting to co-workers simply, "I'm grieving." His honesty underscored how personal public events can feel, even in the high-pressure world of entertainment. Marketing teams monitored audience sentiment, prepared in case backlash spilled over into ticket sales. But no cancellations, no lost roles, no pulled projects followed. Endorsements and promotions continued, if slightly toned down. In fact, his quiet resolve seemed to earn him new supporters, brands and individuals who admired that he had not bent under the weight of criticism. Instead of rushing to clarify, he reinforced his stance with subtlety. A few days later, he posted a Bible verse without context, a reminder that his original message was about prayer, not politics. Later, he shared a photo of the sky with the caption, "Take a moment. Go outside. Call someone you haven't spoken to." Both posts avoided controversy while reinforcing the spirit of his first tribute. The ripples didn't stop in Hollywood. Churches and Christian communities seized on Pratt's words as a teaching moment. Pastors quoted his simple statement in sermons and podcasts, emphasizing the importance of praying for families in grief, regardless of politics. They weren't praising Kirk so much as highlighting the principle that loss deserves compassion. Some pastors went further, noting that you don't have to agree with someone's views to mourn their death. Influencers and faith leaders compared Pratt's quiet tone to figures like Mr. Rogers, Denzel Washington, or Keanu Reeves, celebrities known for empathy over outrage. Viral clips circulated suggesting Pratt had reminded people of something lost in the noise, that silence and prayer still matter. What followed wasn't a cultural shift, but a quiet change in tone. Conservative student groups organized vigils, progressive podcasts acknowledged Pratt's dignity, and entertainers from across the spectrum posted vague but empathetic tributes, candles, verses, or simply empty space. No one pretended the moment unified the country, but it did carve out a rare space for grace. Pratt hadn't changed the world or bridged divides. He hadn't erased polarization or silenced critics. But his message, simple, short, and rooted in faith, proved that not every response needs to be loud. Not every tragedy requires commentary. Sometimes a whisper is louder than a shout. And maybe, when the noise fades, it's the whisper that lingers longest.